Welcome to my channel where I teach the Bible. It is Christmas Day, December 25th, 2022. And I just call this message, It's Christmas Day. And we're going to take a look at Matthew 1:18 through 25, the birth of Jesus, the history of that. Now, today's Christmas Day, the day we celebrate the birth of Jesus. And I mentioned yesterday that we're not sure when Jesus was born. Almost certainly not on December 25th. But let's just read the Christmas story from Matthew 1:18 through 25. This is how the birth of Jesus Christ came about. His mother Mary was pledged to be married to Joseph, but before they came together, she was found to be with child through the Holy Spirit. Because Joseph, her husband, was a righteous man, he did not want to expose her to public disgrace. He had in mind to divorce her quietly. But after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived is hers from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son. You will give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins. All this took place to fulfill what the Lord had said through the prophet. The virgin will be with child, and she will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel of the Lord commanded him and took Mary home as his wife. He had no union with her until she gave birth to a son, and he gave him the name Jesus. There are four issues that I just kind of pop out at me in those verses. Number one, Mary was with child through the Holy Spirit. That's a big deal. Verse 18 makes that statement. And in verse 20, the angel told Joseph not to be afraid to take Mary home as his wife, because the child who was conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. See, they were in a kind of an engagement. They had a long engagement. No relations. So if she turns up pregnant, he would assume, she cheated. But she didn't. And the angel of the Lord told him that this child is from the Holy Spirit. And Joseph was a godly enough man that he believed the angel. Mary was mom, a woman, okay? And the father was God, the Holy Spirit. So the child was God's son, okay? God's son. Second, verse 21. In verse 21, the angel tells Joseph to give the baby the name Jesus, and he does that for a purpose, okay? What was the purpose? He will save his people from their sin. That's what the angel says. He will give him the name Jesus because he will save his people from their sin. Thirdly, verses 22 and 23 make it clear that a virgin will give birth to the child, and he will be called Emmanuel. That means God with us, okay? This fulfills the prophecy about Jesus from Isaiah 7, verse 14. And let's jump back here and read that. Isaiah 7:14. Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and we'll call him Emmanuel. And Emmanuel means God with us. God with us. God shows up with mankind on earth when Jesus is born. Okay, Isaiah 7:14 is the prophecy about the Messiah. The point is that God shows up on earth in a mission to bring salvation to mankind in the person of the Messiah. That's why this baby was born. Fourth, Joseph took Mary home as his wife. He had no union with her, meaning he kept her a virgin, and until her son was born. And they gave him the name Jesus. Now, his name is significant, okay? Jesus is English for the Greek Jesus, which is Greek for the Hebrew Yeshua or Joshua, okay? The name means God is salvation. That's what his name meant. The most significant birth in the history of the world is when God showed up on earth in Jesus to bring us salvation. What do we do about that? We worship him. Merry Christmas.